This ain't on the test. This ain't on the test. This ain't on the test with your host Brandon in bed. This ain't on the test. This ain't on the test. This ain't on the test with your host Brandon in bed. And
Hey, Brandon.
hey, mama.
Hey, girl. How you doing today?
Well, girl, I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm so good. Thank you. I'm doing fabulous. Thank you very much for asking. I'm so excited about this episode today. I'm really excited about it. But we got to get started. What are we even doing? What is this, Brandon? What are we doing?
Well, welcome to This Ain't on the Test, the best teacher podcast that's out
Yeah.
right now with your new teacher besties, Beth and Brandon, Brandon and Beth. Welcome to This Ain't on the Test. And before we get into our podcast, we always start with our ground rules. Mama, go ahead and tell them about these ground rules, please.
In this place, we rep the culture. Okay, we respect the culture, we educate the culture, and we protect the culture. But some people may say, when you say culture, what do you mean? Let me tell you what I mean. The culture is who we are and what we are and where we are from and the way we speak and the way we move and the way we create and our ability to persevere. What we are capable of is our culture. And that, my friends, deserves to be respected. We don't talk about our babies any kind of way. We love on them and we make sure that everyone in our area gives them the respect that they deserve. We
Mm-hmm.
educate the culture. We want them to reach their full potential. So we're going to pour in to those babies. And then we protect the culture. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
bubble wrap that thing and keep it safe from all hurt, harm, and danger because it's worth protecting. So in this space, we rep the culture.
I
REP,
know
we
that's right.
rep the
Respect,
culture.
educate, protect. Okay. That's how we rep the culture around here on This Ain't on the Test. We also would not be an educator
Absolutely.
podcast if there wasn't a listening objective. So by the end of this episode, our listeners will be able to understand a few impacts that the pandemic had on new teachers. And Mama, who do we have to help us get into this core conversation today? Please introduce them.
We often talk about finding your tribe, finding people who balance you out, who match your silly, who love the career the way you love it. And I found one of those people in our guest right here. This is my friend. She my friend. Her name is Katie Black. It says Kathryn, so we'll treat her like an adult. But that's my friend Katie Black. So Katie is a educator, as my daughter would say, is a special educator, which means she works with everybody in office. I'll let her tell you about herself, but I know she's my friend and I love her. So hey, Katie.
Hey,
Hey, Katie, welcome to This Ain't on the Test, girl. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited.
We're
This is going to be
we're
great.
really excited to have you. You are one of those people that we know knows how to rep the culture, how to respect it, educate it, and protect it. So we're so happy to have you here with us.
I'm glad to be here.
So today's episode is called Computer Love. Go on and sing it, Mama. I know you want to.
Computer love.
I know
Hey.
it's coming.
Y'all know I'm not going to sing it, so I'm going
Mmm.
to let y'all do it. That's it. Pay for the rest. Pay for the rest.
I knew you wanted it to. All right, Computer Love. This is
Pay
all
for the rest.
about the pandemic, honey, about teaching in the panini, about that good old 1920,
In the panini.
2021 school years where everything changed. Some say it changed for the better, some say it changed for
Listen,
the worse. But just like they said in Wicked, because I knew you, my whole life has changed for good, okay? It's different.
baby, it definitely changed forever. I don't know if it was for good or for naught, but it changed forever. I
For
know that.
permanence, okay?
And let me just say, for those of us who were teaching prior to the pandemic, we went home on an extended break. We went home for spring break and never came back. And so it was odd for us too, but in a whole different way.
Yeah.
I am interested in finding out how it happened for people who started in the pandemic. What were we going to say, Brand?
I was going to ask you, so where were you when you got sent home for the pandemic?
I was celebrating your sibling's birthday. We got sent home on the first day of spring break, March 13th, 2020. And my younger child had just come home from college and for her spring break. And we were at Jalapenos celebrating her birthday, and she had on a sombrero, and we was singing and eating and having a good time. And we got a text message that said, "Pick up your computers and make sure you take them home. You'll be back." They said, "Spring break, you're going on for spring break, and we don't know if you're going to make it back right away." And then from that, it went to spring break is over. Come get everything you think you'll need to teach from home for the next week. I don't know what I need to teach from home for the next week. So we just, everybody grab stuff. Like I'm going to grab a book and a charger and a pen and a computer. I have things.
Things have
And
been
with those
grabbed.
things, they said, stay home. And I'm like, with these things? Okay. And no training, no nothing. Just you were on spring break. Come grab some things. See you later. That's how that happened for us. How about you, Brandon?
So we were not on spring break yet. Spring break is around my birthday in April, here in the DMV area. So it was just a regular day, the same exact day. And we're teaching and we start getting these messages on the Remind app that's like, don't tell the students because we don't want to alarm them, but start calling parents to pick kids up like right now. Like, we're shutting down. Everybody's got to be out of the building. We don't know when you guys are coming back. Take everything with you. And we just had to start like sneaking to call parents like, okay, like everybody work independently on pages 3 through 7. And you're just like at your desk secretly calling and texting parents like,
Like,
come get your
yeah.
baby. Don't freak out, but also come right now. And I have no answers for you. Okay, bye.
Don't
Where
freak
were
out,
you,
but
Miss
hurry up.
Katie? Right.
I was a secretary at the time. So I worked for a regional office. So we oversaw like school districts. And yeah, it was like the same thing, a normal day. And then, hey, you're not coming back in. Grab your laptop. Sure.
Like, all right. Like I had no
Yeah.
idea. Luckily, I did most of my teaching online in person. Like I was a very techie math teacher. So I had my Google Classroom, my all my apps and my things, my video lessons. So it wasn't a huge like I was okay, but there were people who were really shook. What did your first year of teaching look and feel like having to start online?
Well,
Yes, you
nothing I was ready for. I I wasn't ready at all. I was just given a computer and was told to support kids. And I was like, well, how do you do that through a screen? There was no step by step. And unlike if I had come in as a teacher where everyone was in the building, I'd have veteran teachers to go to. All of a sudden, it was an even playing field. No one was a veteran at anything. And I had, shout out to Western Governors University, done my schooling online, but couldn't prepare me for this. Like, that was a full building that did their schooling online. They had that platform. We didn't have the infrastructure to appropriately support the kids.
That was definitely a huge thing in my district, where it's like we weren't built for everyone to just go online. That I don't we like they just started mandating stuff over the spring break. Like everybody's got to get Google Suite certified, like level 1. Everyone does, but we don't know what to do with it. But you have to go get one.
And now,
Were you gonna say
looking
something?
at the two of you beautiful humans, well, I was going to say something. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, because it's lagging on my end just a little bit. Um, I was going to say that you two beautiful human beings are so much younger than me. And one was a computer nerd anyway, my child. And then Katie, you said you got your whole degree online. So then there are people like me. There were veteran teachers who never used technology, who always wrote on the board, who had a classroom set of little whiteboards so kids could write on them. Like I never used technology. And for them to say, here's your computer and here's your here's your, what's it called when the camera that looks at the stuff?
.cam.
Okay, well, we had a camera. And say, here's your camera, and here you go, and here's a textbook. So I literally, for people at home, I am holding up a piece of paper to my screen. That is what I did, is I wrote on pieces of paper. I learned to write backwards so that I could hold the papers up. I could do numbers inverted so that it would be correct when I held it up. That's what I did. So it was very hard for veteran teachers who had no technology. And I couldn't use that as an excuse because I still had to go home and teach and I had to figure it out.
What made you decide, Katie, to go from being a secretary to stepping into the educator space?
So I had always wanted to be a teacher. I started working at a high school as a registrar, and I found that I was connecting to the students that were usually labeled those like problem kiddos.
Mm-hmm.
I could just connect with them. And I was like, I think I want to be in the classroom. That's where I want to be. I shadowed some of my coworkers, and I was like, yeah, this is what I wanted to do. It just so happened I vacationed in Savannah, and I was like, I love this area. That's where I want to be. Like week after we went on like completely virtual, I was supposed to come down to Savannah for like a job fair because I was like, I can do my student teaching here. Like this will be great. They have a program. I'll be able to be paid for it. Wow, was I baptized by fire, I guess. But it was where I wanted to be because I love the kids. And if we want to make a change, we want to see a change, that's where it starts. It starts with our babies.
Most definitely. How did the technology reshape how you connected with students? Like you were able to make some of those connections as the registrar. When you had to come online, did technology help with those connections or hinder?
No, it hindered it, especially as a special education teacher. I mean, so much of what I do relies on being in person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just, having the conversation, it's reading those nonverbal cues. It's looking at them and seeing, have they bathed? Have they eaten? What do they need? And how do I support them? Zoom was great. I could talk to them, awesome. But if they're not turning on their cameras and then they don't know me from anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
like they're not going to tell me if something's going on or if they're struggling in a content and they need support. But if I'm in person, I can be in your face like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Tell me more. So I love technology, but I hated it too. For the sped side of it, having meetings, it made it so much easier for parents. Like, parents didn't have to leave work, they didn't have to take time off, and then you think of loss of income. They were able to call in, attend a meeting, so that was great.
Yeah.
But as far as academic and supporting social emotional, it didn't help.
What about you, Mama?
I have a question, Kate. I have
Yeah.
a question for Katie. It's because it was your first year teaching. So how did you make connections with your co-teachers
Mm.
online? And I know it was difficult with the students, but how hard was it to make a connection with the adults?
It was very hard. It was hard because you hear all the time that co-teaching is a marriage. And without those like basic foundations of I know you, you know me, this is what we like, this is what we don't like, that style, you learn each other's style being in person. And you didn't get that online. But then you add the layer of we're all stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have teachers trying to figure out, like Beth, you said, okay, how do I take this curriculum and now I'm teaching it over a computer, right? They didn't care about getting to know me. I didn't really care. That was not like my thought was like, okay, if an admin comes in, I need to look like I'm doing something and not just
Yeah,
like I needed to look like I'm doing something. So it was
that's
hard.
valid. That's
Very.
valid.
What would you say were some of the
Like
hardest
you, Katie.
The lag has us talking over each other. Go ahead, Mama.
That's okay. I was just going to say, like Katie, I too started at the same high school during the pandemic. I left my school at the went home in March and my last day was in June. So I started at a new school teaching high school for the first time in the pandemic and trying to figure out how to do it. So I had to make those connections as well. And I didn't know my co-teachers at all. Just so happened that one was nuts and it was really easy to get to know her, a little tiny one, you know who I mean. Um, so it
Mm-hmm.
was really
I
easy to
sure
get to know
do.
her because her personality jumped across screens and mine kind of does too. So I had that blessing, but it was hard. It was hard. I give you that. As a veteran teacher, it was hard to make connections. I can't imagine being brand new and trying to make those connections. Go ahead, Brandon.
Oh, that was really good. I'd never
Thank you.
really had co-teachers. Um, I had my one special educator partner, and like we did our own thing in terms of like co-teaching or whatever. But it was only I have always worked at small charter schools, so there was one grade, like one class for that grade. So I didn't have anybody else that did what I did. Like I taught sixth, seventh, and eighth math or seventh and eighth math, and there was only one seventh grade class and one eighth grade class. So there was no partner. So I just kind of was on an island out in the Zoom world by myself, but it was fun. We had some times were had. Um, which app became your ride or die, and which one do you never want to see again?
I never want to see Microsoft Teams again.
I also hate Microsoft
Like,
Teams.
it was not user friendly. It would give a notification like you have 10 minutes left, and then you feel like you're in a pressure cooker. Like, I have more to say than just 10 minutes. Are you like, I hated Microsoft Teams. Like, don't ever make me do that again. Zoom. Zoom was so user friendly. Like, just set up my link, send it out to my kids. Hey, this is when I'll be on. It was not like it didn't take rocket science to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
It was just easy. Drop the link. Here we go.
What about you, Mom?
Zoom, like Katie said, Zoom was so easy to use that I felt, but I know that there was so much of it that I wasn't using. I literally talked to the people on the screen, and I know my child was saying, "You can. There's a whiteboard on there, and there's a this on there." I'm like, I'm talking to people. That's the most I can do, and then I'm gonna hold up this piece of paper, and they're gonna see what I wrote on it, and we're gonna talk about math. So Zoom was very helpful, and I hated everything else. So any other thing everything else I hated because I couldn't figure it out because it was frustrating, because it would lag, it would crash, and I had nobody to help, and there was nobody in my house that could help me. So I hated everything. I would have happily gone to every student's house and given them 20 minutes of class than been online. I would have met them outside in their front yard with a mask on. I never want to teach online.
Dang.
I'm right there with you. We could have went
Go ahead,
together.
Fred.
20 minutes here, there, everywhere.
Just
Ouch.
hold hands and go from house to house.
Hmm.
Dagger to the heart. Okay, Devil's Advocate loved it. Huge fan. I used every app. I'd used every app. Whiteboard.fi or Whiteboard.fi, whatever it's called. That was a really good one. You could see all their whiteboards at the same time. I loved my Zoom and all its little add-ons and things, sharing screens and sharing the pencil and stuff. Like, no, you take over. You write on the board. It was a whole thing. I had my virtual classroom. I loved it. I loved it. I felt like it was the best way for me to track data than I tracked data probably better than I ever did in the building because I didn't have to navigate all the other parts of teaching. I just got to just teach. Like, ain't no behaviors to manage. Ain't no, don't know like I got to go back. Like, there was nothing. I was just vibing. Y'all are
But there
not giving
was
me that energy
behaviors
back.
to manage. There were so many behaviors to manage. There were people asleep. There were people half dressed. There were people eating whole meals like Thanksgiving. There were parents coming by half dressed in the middle of the screen. There were children who rolled over in bed and I saw their behind. There was
Or all
children
you
that
can
logged in
hear
and
is
never came
dog
into class, so I had
barking.
to start looking. Right. Or they were in the car because their parents were making them go to work with them, and so stuff is whizzing by. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it.
No.
Hey,
Sorry, I gotta agree with Beth.
This wasn't my story. Okay, cool. No, I love it. So, out of all the things that sucked, what were the unforgettable Zoom fails or student moments that happened?
I have two that come to mind.
Okay.
And the first one was my first day. Like, I'm talking about first day in a Zoom classroom. Now, I got put in economics. Do I know anything about economics? No, I sure don't. So my co-teacher's like, we're gonna do a breakout room. I haven't, now I started late because of paperwork. So they had technically been with the teacher for like a week. So she kind of knew the kids.
Mm.
So she puts me in a breakout room and I totally like, I'm super energetic and I go to say hi.
We lost Katie, I think.
It looks like we
There
did.
are two interesting things. One was when I had a student who was in the bed while we were doing the class, and she went to go get something out of her book bag and rolled over, and her entire behind went across the screen.
Oh,
And
fun.
so that was not what we wanted. And I think I said something inappropriate because I thought my mic was off, but it wasn't because the students repeated
Welcome
what I
back, Katie.
said.
Welcome.
Hey,
Look at
thank
that. It's
you.
just like it's
Because that,
2020 all over again.
because I was like, I think we lost Katie.
Yeah, just
So
like on
that
I
was
Zoom.
realized I was like, I'm talking to myself. Flashbacks,
So triggering. Show signs of
right?
life. Did y'all used to do signs of life on your classes?
yes, yes, just give me a hand, wave, because I'm looking at fans
I'm
and
just looking at
floors.
ceiling
Just
fans.
wave a finger.
Right. Just
Just wave a
well.
finger or something.
Let me know.
And
So
then I
I don't
had the
know if my
student who,
second story caught my second story, not about me screwing up
what
the
was,
kid's name. But
No.
my second story is I had a lovely child who didn't understand that underwear was not
Oh,
appropriate to wear.
yes.
yes, yes,
Hmm.
We got
yes,
that
that
set.
Great
was,
kid. Great kid. We had to have a lot of conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my like close coworkers came to me and he was like, Black, you gotta talk to him again. I'm like, okay.
My district,
all right then.
my district mandated
Okay.
uniforms.
Yeah.
Like my
For
district
COVID,
mandated, yes. They had to have a designated space in their home that they logged in at every day. Like you couldn't just be all over the place. You had to be on the technology that the school gave you, and you had to have on your uniform shirt. Now, I didn't
none
take
of those states.
time enforcing that when they didn't do it. That was a waste of my time to be all like, well, I'm going to kick you off the Zoom because
Yes.
you still got your bonnet on. I'm not doing that. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up.
Right.
And we didn't do any of that. But
Yeah.
I did have to have two Zoom sessions because, again, I was teaching high school students. Many of them took the opportunity to make a lot more money during COVID by working all day and night long, working 40 hours a week. And so I had to have a morning shift and an evening shift on some of my classes so that because they would just be asleep or they'd have it on while they were in the back of a warehouse or something. So I said, why don't you just, I'm going to teach, listen, I'm going to teach from 7 to 12 and then I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to teach again from 7 to 8. So I need you to log in at one of them times and get
Figure it
some of this
out.
good information. So that was how I had to do it a lot teaching high school kids because they were just working. They were
That's
just working.
interesting. What were the hardest challenges that no one prepared you for?
Um, Probably seeing glimpses into kids' lives.
Mm.
The kids that would cut their cameras on,
Mm,
and you did get like a sense of what was going on, or you heard when they had their microphones on, younger siblings in the back, or interactions with parents. It was like, some kids have it rough at home, but
Hmm.
that wasn't in your face. Like, you can't turn away from it. And you expect me to still sit here and teach them how to do economics. And it was hard. It
Yeah.
was hard because I'm like, you're struggling, and school is actually like an escape for you. And now you're having to do school on a computer in a setting that is not conducive for it. I wasn't ready for that at all.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about
I
that too.
totally, I totally understand that. There were so many scholars where I didn't realize what their home lives looked like until we got there, and I got so much more empathy so quickly because I'm a relatively strict teacher when it comes to certain things. Like I like routines and procedures, and I don't like for them to get messed up, and I don't give a lot of leeway in things. I just don't. But being in the pandemic, I had to start doing things kind of like my mom did, where she was like, I would shift to two different teaching times to make sure that I could accommodate what kids had going on. I would leave the link open during lunchtime so that people who wanted to just talk to their friends had like a safe space that they still could get that type of connection. My principal and I were sending groceries to people's homes, sending toiletries through like Instacart and stuff to people's homes. Because you start looking like you've been online with me for 8 hours and I haven't seen you eat once.
Hmm.
Those are the things I was not prepared for.
Yeah,
That's
I would
part of
agree. I
repping the
think,
culture. That's that protection.
Yeah.
well, and I don't know about either of you, but like I had to go through kind of a poverty simulation per se. And
I remember
essentially, like, you're
when they did
given a
the exam.
budget, and it was like, it still doesn't even hit on the gravity of the situation, of the severity. And I think that alone is what carried into my years in person and how I moved and how I interacted with kids,
Mm.
because they weren't just coming for that basic education. There were so many more needs that we were needing to meet.
That kind of leads us to our like kind of like last like seeds for growth kind of question for this convo. If you could redesign schools based on what you've learned, what's the thing that you would change about how school is run?
Hmm. I gotta be quiet on that one for a second because there's so much I would want to change. Um, here's the problem with the buildings today. The education system, I'm gonna get on my soapbox, so
Oh,
I'm
get up there,
apologizing.
girl.
The education system was designed for one person, one type of person. It's not me, it's not you two. And we have evolved over the years with so many different types of people coming from so many different walks of life. And the one thing that hasn't changed is the education system. And then we want to look around and say, well, why do we still have poverty? Why do we still have, different issues going on? Well, here's why. Because we're not educating each child appropriately and adequately at the level that they need and deserve to be able to break the cycle. And so I would honestly, there's not one thing. I would overhaul the whole dang system because there are kids that are falling through the cracks that could be the next scientist. They could be the next person on the moon. They can know how to cure cancer. But because they don't fit that mold, their opportunity is slim to none.
Yeah.
And now I'm off my soapbox.
Bro, I'm getting up there with you, friend, because I 100% agree. I feel like the whole system, if the pandemic taught me that education can be done differently, that the entire landscape of education has to get blown up and we have to start over because it even, and this is like a very nerdy moment, but like even my school just did their first round of map tests, and for the first time in like 12 years they've changed the RIT scores, the bands, all the scores got lower. So for you to be on grade level is now lower points than it used to be. You had to literally change what on grade level meant because of the pandemic. And I kept saying, if everybody's behind, then that means
Are
that
they
that's the new
behind the
normal.
ball?
Like, is like, are they behind
Right.
or is this just what fifth graders are now? So
Mm-hmm.
it's just evidence to me that like it's time to shake some shit up. Like, do this differently. And how do we change school to make it fit the types of people that we need in the future? Mama?
The first thing I think that we need to do is change the times and
Ugh.
change where school occurs. We just proved it doesn't have to occur inside of a building. And the times have got to change. All the evidence, all the research says that the older kids are not cognizant. They're not awake and able to receive information at 7 a.m. That's just not their biological clock. That's why they're up all night wandering around because they're not, that's just how their body's working. So I like when I had the shifts, the kids that came at 7 in the evening were the kids that were awake and able to focus on it at 7 in the evening. There's nothing wrong with night school. I went to night school in high school in my senior year. There's nothing wrong with night school. Why don't we offer it? Why do you have to be failing? Why do you have to be some student that got kicked out? Why can't I just want to start my day at 4 in the evening? Why do I have to be there at 7? I mean, why do I have to be in the building? Why can't I have school at the library? Why can't I have school why can't I go someplace and learn something there and apply it to math and science and everything else? Why?
Yeah.
So I think that we need to free education from the school building and let it run free around the city so that the students can jump on the train of education where it best fits them, their families and everything. That way I think it'll be more equitable as well because
Hmm.
more parents can engage if they can do things around their own schedule as well. So that's my soapbox. I jump off of that.
Yes. So it sounds like our seeds for growth are to blow it all up, teach the child
Yeah.
that's in front of you, not the child that it was originally intended for.
Hmm.
Wait,
And
wait, wait. Who you
what?
teach? Wait, stop, 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 stop. Who do you teach?
The child that's in front of you, not the child it was intended for.
Hmm.
Thank Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
everybody's always trying to teach the child they taught last year, the child from 10 years ago, the child that lives in their head. But you know what? Little Johnny, little Jill, little Keisha, little Kwame, they're in front of you. Did you
Yes.
teach them? Did you meet
Yes.
them where they are and take them where they're going? Did you just do that?
And they're not just a test score.
Yes. They're a whole person.
Yes.
So
Yes.
teach them the whole world. Teach
Hmm.
them how to navigate situations, teach them how to problem solve, teach them how to think critically, teach them how to travel around the city, teach them how to navigate the world and throw some content in there
And
so that they can talk about
Hmm.
stuff.
and don't limit what they're able to do based on your preconceived notion of what you think that kid should be able to do. You're a
Yes.
girl, so you should do this. You're a
Thank
guy, you should
you.
do that. You're tall, so you should do this.
Hmm.
You stop putting people in boxes and allow them to be anything and everything that they choose to be.
I know that's right, girl. Y'all, I think we really ate this core conversation up. Like,
I did. Mm-hmm.
I feel like those
Indeed.
were like excellent seeds for growth. I feel like we hit on a lot of different like aspects of the panini.
Hmm.
Like we had our
Sprinkling
pros, we
seeds,
had our
baby.
cons. Like, yes. So you know what that means.
And
It's time for the teacher tailgate. Okay. After all that heavy conversation, honey bunny, we like to just sit back and take ourselves a little drink at the teacher tailgate. Okay. Mama, tell us about our drink for today.
I think we call this my extra credit.
This is the extra
Extra
credit.
credit had a level. Because everybody deserves a little extra credit to boost their grade. You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to do a little bit of tequila with a little bit of pineapple juice, and then
Mm-hmm.
you could put a little garnish on it and make it special. If you don't want no
Mm-hmm.
tequila, don't have none. But you're not gonna get your full amount of extra credit if you yes, go ahead. Katie, do you have yours?
I'm
You ready to
fixing it
tell us?
right
Yes,
now.
Mm-hmm.
that's my girl. That's my girl. That's my girl.
So,
My cup that's
And
been
I'm
through
not
it
mad
all.
at it.
Pandemic.
mm.
But this is not bad.
Oh, I enjoy
No,
it.
it's not.
I'm not mad at it.
Right?
I enjoy it thoroughly. My
Mm, 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 mm.
fiance made mine. I think it's really delicious. Through my
I'm
fiance made
sorry. Who
it.
did you say made you drink? Who did you make?
Mm,
Who made you drink it now?
just this
I'm sorry.
person I picked up.
For all
They
our
were all
listening
like,
audience.
"You're really cool. Do you want to marry me?" And I was all like, "Yeah." So got a
I'm
little
sorry. I
engaged.
was talking over you, so could you say it again, please?
I said just this little person I picked up, and they were all like, "Do you want to marry me?" And I was all like, "Yeah." So You see
It's so
it?
beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'm so excited.
Yes,
I love
I
you. So now that we have tailgated, we got to have a little teacher joy to end the day
am.
with.
Yes.
This Black
What
Teacher
is
Joy
it?
segment is brought to you by Tiny Sparks. Tiny Sparks Lab, curriculum for children that look like us. So now, Katie, in
Yes.
15 words or less, give us something that gave you a special kind of teacher joy. What makes you happy to be a teacher? Give us something.
I had a young man that I met by chance. A teacher sent him down to my classroom because he wasn't making it. And he had a little nickname, little magic in him. And he was the kind of kid that this system wasn't designed for. And I I don't know, I just grew to love him like one of my own kids. And he graduated my last year that I was down in Georgia. And he stood with me. I have a picture of it. One of my coworkers took it. We were standing looking at the chairs for graduation. And he said, I couldn't have done this without you.
Mm.
And that is what I carry with me. I'm tearing up right now, but I love kids, but I love the kids that have been looked at as like they can't do something or that they're not worthy because every kid is. And so it's little moments like that of kids saying it's because of you when really it's because of them. It is kids like that that have made me the teacher that I am. And so that's my teacher joy.
Yes.
My kids are my teacher joy.
I love it.
I love you, Baby Black.
I love you too now.
I told you she was
I
awesome. I did.
You did. You were right.
I just am not awesome at math. That's it. My only red flag.
We'll take it.
And it is a red flag. It is a red flag, but it's the only one, so we'll let it slide this time.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll take it for now.
Hmm. I can't lie.
My teacher,
My
Joy,
first. Oh, were you gonna talk, Beth?
that's okay, baby, go ahead.
I was just gonna say with math, my first year, so that COVID year, right? Halfway through the year, we came back in the building, and kids were given the opportunity to come back in, and I was at that point content like co-teaching math, and my co-teacher told me I have two boys. I just need them to pass this class. And I said, I don't know how to do math. She said, I don't care. I just need them to pass. I'm putting them on. It was some sort of program. We went down to the classroom, and let me tell you, I figured out photo math quicker than anybody. I was like, she doesn't care if you learn the content. I don't care if you learn the content. Like,
Oh,
together,
Lord.
we will conquer this math. And we did.
That was
We did.
Oh, Katie. Katie, we're doing so good.
I
We're
want
doing
the kids to know the content. As a math teacher, I really
It
do.
matters. It really matters. And to that teacher that told you it didn't, I will fight them in the street because
Outside,
it
cash me.
it matters. People
Yep.
listening, it.
But people
But they
listening,
graduated.
I would say, and that photo math app is very helpful for breaking down step by steps. It is really
It
cool
is.
if you've done the math and you take the picture of it and you're like, oh, like that explanation is genuinely awesome.
It is. If you don't understand math, 10 out of 10 recommend it.
For sure.
Step by
Yes.
step. And
And I will give you that. I will allow it. My teacher joy is happy sad. I was at the hospital because I have a friend that is dealing with some very serious illness, and it was really sad, and I was very, very sad. And I looked really sad. And I kept passing back and forth to go visit this person. And I kept passing this huge family that I assumed was going through a moment because this is a floor that people are sad on. So I was trying not to make eye contact because I could see the whole family there. And then finally, a little tiny grandma, as I walked by, she grabs my arm and she said, "Are you a math teacher?" And I'm saying to myself, "Baby, I know I didn't teach you." But I was like, Yes, ma'am. And she said, my granddaughter is over there and she loves you. And she's scared to speak because she said you look sad. And so
Oh,
I had taught her and her sister. And they both came and gave me these hugs and we took pictures. And it was so nice to see them. I met my husband and I met a boyfriend, and I taught them in sixth grade. So I met them. One of them has a husband now, and one of them has got a boyfriend, going to get engaged. And it was just this beautiful light in the middle of a very dark day was to have these two babies and to have their whole family go, oh, that's Miss Jones. So that's kind of nice that they thought of me still and she remembered me and all that stuff because, they old now. So that was a good teacher, Joy, that they wanted to speak. Because sometimes you see a teacher and you hide. I hide from
Yeah.
teachers and they work with me. I'm not their student. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to them. So I can only imagine there are children that hide when they see their teachers. So it was nice to not
mhm.
be hidden from.
That's sweet. Um, does that make it my turn? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. So I was taking public transit home not too long ago from work, and I get a phone call from a former student. This is a student that I taught at a musical theater camp. I taught them from like fifth grade to 12th grade. And then they actually went to my alma mater to study theater the same way that I did. And then they actually went on to do some professional theater. And I'm always so proud of them. They're like a real live grown up. They're engaged now too. So anyways, they call me when I'm walking down the street and they're like, I saw this lady and I feel like she looked like you. She gave your kind of like vibe. And I was like, I mean, I am walking down the street. And so she starts naming the outfit. And I'm like, yeah, no, that was totally me. And she's like, oh my God, I just started teaching at the school down the street from you, from the school that I currently work at. And she's like, we have to have a teacher lunch or something so we can talk and like catch up. So that meant a lot to me that she saw me just on the street and was like, I love that teacher. I know that lady and is now a teacher too. That's wild to me. Also, we're like the same age, so I don't know how that happened. Go with it.
You're not. You're
Just go with it.
not. This has been so much fun. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. This has been a blast.
Yeah, me too.
So we've
Me
gone
too.
through it all, Brandon. What's left?
What's left is just making
What's
sure
left
that
to
you
do?
leave knowing that you are loved, that you are seen, that you are supported. Make sure that you go into the education system and teach the people that are in front of you, not teaching for some made up person they built a curriculum for. Know your babies, love your babies, teach those babies, the ones in the room. And make sure you turn up with a little
Please do
extra
that.
credit, okay? That's all I got, mama.
Everybody deserves a little extra credit. Everybody deserves a little extra credit sometime.
Okay.
I would say make sure that if you see a teacher struggling with technology or anything, if you can help, help. And if you need help, ask
Yeah.
because struggling will not help you. If you need help with something, ask. There's a class online. There's a person. The media specialist knows everything. So you can always go see your media specialist. Do not sleep on that guy or that girl in there. They are actually a wealth of knowledge. What you got, Katie? One last thought.
It's hard, but it's worth it.
Yes.
It will always be
And
worth it.
And
that
that's
says it
that on
all. I love
that.
it.
Yes.
And
Well,
that's
thank
that
you
on that. You know
again.
what? Because this ain't on the test.
Ow. This ain't on the test. This ain't on the test. This ain't on the
This was
test.
not on the test.
Okay? Kicking us out in the middle of the day was not on the test.
Baby, that wasn't even in the class. Mm-mm.
Well, we love y'all. Thank y'all for coming back for episode 3. Drop us a line. Hit us on our website. Follow us on This Ain't on the Test Pod on all social medias. Visit us at thisain'tonthetest.com. Leave us notes. We're still looking for some parking lot comments that we can help you guys out with. So make sure you drop those notes either on the site or on our socials. Peace out.
Rep the culture, baby.